A bunch of stuff was just announced, well, today and yesterday for Raid Shadow Legends, and as a new player, I am really curious how much it actually will impact you and me, of course. Let's take a look at the news together and kind of walk through it and see if it actually will have an impact on us. What is up, Raiders of Plarium? My name is Charlie. This is New Raiders Only, and in this video, I want to talk about this blog post posted about an hour ago, update 1040 going live soon. Not really sure 100% when it's going live, but we have this update highlight article on the forum. I'm sure that a lot of you have probably seen this floating around quite a bit already, but the thing about it is, you know, whenever we look at stuff like this, you have to view the content from two different lenses, okay? So you have the newer player, right? And the vast majority of Raid Shadow Legends players and most players in games like this are the newer player, and those players that are just maybe a month into the game, maybe like a mid-tier, maybe they're a budget player for a little while, but the whales, right, that have been playing long-term, they exist. It's not like that they don't. Obviously, they're on the game. You can see them everywhere, but they make up a much smaller percentage of the total player base. And while it may feel like that those are actually the majority, it is my opinion that what you're seeing is just a vocal minority talking about stuff like this. And one of the monetization strategies in games like this that I think is very powerful is to give more stuff for free, okay? And the reason for it is the gap between pay to win and free to play is it's never going to get much smaller. Like, you get the illusion that you're going to catch up, but you're never quite going to get there. And that's just how games like this are designed. They dangle a little bit. Maybe you spend a little bit. You get that dopamine rush of buying a package, and then, you know, getting a little bit more juice, getting a little bit more leveling of the artifacts or power, you know, whatever. And you just never quite catch up. But if you give more stuff away for free, then the gap feels like it's closing for the whale players, for the long-term players, and they will potentially spend more. That's a strategy. It's an assumed strategy. I don't know how effective it actually is. But with that in mind, right, two different points of view about the game, let's take a look at this coming up in a little bit. We have community weeks. Okay, so the community weeks is something to celebrate our community, which is great. Raid Shadow Legends is a fantastic game. It's been around for many, many years. And, you know, a lot of the communities in games like this are pretty toxic, but I would consider ours not that bad. Not that bad. Comparing it to like Hero Wars and, you know, some of those other games, it's just toxic. It's just sad a lot. Anyway, we have various activities planned this year, but they will be covered in dedicated social media posts. You know, more on that in the future. Community events are always good, right? Getting the community together to vote on something or to complete something, it's always nice. You know, it's fake engagement, but it's still fun. It's a lot of fun, right? A lot of fun. So then the reward calendar. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, so this is engagement bait for sure. So a reward calendar, they call it an advent calendar, but the term advent is usually more related to like holiday, religious kind of calendars, traditionally around wintertime, you know, Christmas, all of that. But it's kind of the same thing. Every day that you log in, you get a free reward. And for the most part, if you miss a day, then you don't get that reward. So it makes you want to log in every day and see what you're going to get next. Like, you open a small little package, a small little gift, and you're very excited about what you're going to get. And that is huge. I think that's a big deal for a lot of players. They just want to see what's coming next. Now, this has all been leaked. This has all been shared and hidden. You know, like, we basically all know what all is going to be on here. You know, we usually always do well before it actually does go live. I'm not going to talk about it here, but one thing that we do know is that there are a couple of exceptions on the use it or lose it kind of situation, and that is Fragments for Ludex Aror, who is a legendary support champion created specifically or explicitly, for the community weeks. Now, I don't really know much about Ludex Aror. I checked Hell Hades. I didn't see anything on there yet. A legendary support champion may or may not be what you're looking for, but if you are a new player, if you are a brand new player, or you're considering starting Raid Shadow Legends, I want to tell you guys about the affiliate link that I have in the description box down below. Okay, that link will give you effectively 5 free high-end champions. Okay, you start off with Uugo, just finishing the introduction to the game. You're going to get Uugo, who is one of the best, if not the best, epic support champion in the game. You want her. You need her. There's a lot of things that you can't do without her. You get her for free. You're also going to get Tagoar, another epic support. And this is where I'm starting to struggle a little bit because a lot of my free champions in my affiliate link are support. But on day one, new players can put in a new player code on top of my URL link to get one of 3 legendary champions. You can get the Supreme Gallic, which is the one that I would absolutely recommend right now. I'm sure many of you have been seeing this ad pop up about a new epic champion that you can get on day one from the Shadowkin faction. You know, she is pretty great, but she's no Supreme Gallic. My affiliate link does give you Chonoru as well, which is an epic attack champion. So, you know, if you do like the Shadowkin that much, I just think that the Supreme Gallic is way better. Legendary Void champion, great on attack. But there's also the opportunity to get Sun Wukong. And there's a lot of debate between whether Sun Wukong or the Supreme Gallic, you know, which one of them is a better attack champion. They both have their pros and cons. We can talk about them in a different video if you would like, and there's lots of content already written and made about these two, but they're both going to be kind of the centerpiece of your attack strategy if you are a new player, which is very important when you consider that this Ludex Aror is a legendary support champion, right? Not 100% certain how they are going to interact with the Supreme Gallic or Sun Wukong or even your Shadowkin faction, but they're free. And what more can you ask for aside from free? Now it's fragments, so we don't know if it's going to be the whole. Like, we'll figure more out obviously as the daily login, the reward calendar does go live. But you know, it's got to be free to play friendly, and if it's not, then you know obviously it's just going to be you know upsetting. Now this is kind of cool though. A vote for one of 4 legendary relics going to be the final the final prize of the reward calendar. So as you log in throughout the month, you know, I guess it finishes on May 4th, I suppose. You know, you'd think it'd be the end of April, but that's okay. One of these relics is going to end up being the prize. And as a community opportunity, we get to choose kind of which of the relics that we want. Now, the problem with stuff like this is not everybody's building the same set of teams. Not everybody has the same champions unlocked. And again, we have this disparity between the budget players, free-to-play players, you know, pay-to-play versus the whales, which are much higher level. So, you know, there's going to be a difference here. And you're going to see a lot of that in the voting about how they approach this game and how they approach spending in this game. The Gear Ascension Tournament is going to be for players that are level 38 or higher. Now, level 38 isn't that hard to get to, especially if you're using your AFK, your multi-battles every single day, which I recommend that you do somewhere, you know, whether you're farming silver for shields for silver or you're farming artifacts specifically in the dungeon, you know, whatever. You need to be working on that, getting your level up, getting your level as high as possible, as quickly as possible, so you can participate in all the activities, all the daily fun stuff that you can do to make this game interesting and engaging. Collecting as many oils and extracts as possible is the name of the game here. And, you know, we'll definitely have some guides about that whenever it does go live. And we get a little bit more detailed information specifically about, you know, the more efficient things to do and all of that. The token trader champion rotation does not impact us hardly at all, unfortunately. The champion rotation is all well and good. Most players don't really have access to some of this stuff, this currency, and, you know, Silly and the Lucky looks like their sole purpose of being rotated in is to empower Rhonda. And I mean, raise your hand if you played when Rhonda was released. As a new player, it would be cool to have her, but you know, I don't know that I'll ever have an opportunity to get her. I don't know that most people will, but you know, that's something for long-term players, I suppose. And again, you need something for long-term players. You absolutely do. So that's absolutely fair. Silly and the Lucky, you know, and Ginzen, legendary attack champions, definitely a good opportunity to add to your team, and having a specific way to go about collecting those champions is always nice. But, you know, how effective are they going to be specifically? I don't know how important they are. And then we kind of get into these quality of life stuff down here and some rebalancing of mythical champions. You know, the mythical and the legendary champions, Ashnar, Dragon Soul, and Whirlum, they're good. You know, they're not as good as other legendaries and mythicals, of course, depending on your team that you're trying to build and the activity that you're trying to run into. But, you know, for the most part, this doesn't really matter to new players. You might get lucky, and if that's the case, then absolutely this is important stuff for you. It's just not for me. I don't think I'll ever get these. I mean, maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. But the quality of life stuff is pretty cool. One of the things that jumps out at me is better inbox management. You'll be able to sell gear from the inbox, the gear upgrade tabs, and the craft X10 or times 10 tab in the Forge. This is nice. This is actually really nice. It's a huge quality of life. You know, you had to collect stuff and then go to another area of the game to sell it. If it was garbage, if it was junk, if it was just trash, then you wanted it out of your account as quickly as possible, and the alternative resource in your account instead. Some of this other stuff, relic lore, sure, good. More avatar frames, okay. The market refresh and the refresh timer swapping positions, okay. The Chimera themed clan quests being made simpler. I'm interested to see what that looks like, although I'm not really sure what they're referencing here. I'm happy for simpler. Obviously, the fastest that we can get through our day, the better. Sometimes this game feels like we're playing all day long, even though we're not really playing that long. It just is what it is. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, how you feel about some of these, changes, and does it impact you? And are you looking forward to the new Ludex Aror? Are you going to be chasing Cillian the Lucky? Whatever. Free relic is cool, I guess. I'll definitely be logging in every day and collecting all of the rewards from the reward calendar. Looking forward to seeing what else we have in store here. So subscribe if you are not already. Turn on notifications to never miss a video. I love you all, and good luck in Plarium.